All right, guys, this video is going to be a tad bit longer because I just want to do a quick recap. So day one, A, B, C. I asked you to name a radius. You would tell me if I asked you to name a radius that it was segment AC. If I asked you to name the apothem, you would tell me it was segment AB. If I asked you to name the center, you would tell me that the, the center was point A. And then if I asked you to provide me with the measure of angle BAC, you would use the formula 360 divided by your number of sides, like that. So you would do 360 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which 360 divided by 5 gives you 72. Okay. And that found your central angle. That would find this angle right here. But if I was asking for specifically the measure of BAC, you would have to take that 72 and divide it by 2. And you would tell me the measure of that central angle then was 36 degrees. Okay. That was what I had you do on day one. Okay, on day two, I gave you a side length and I gave you the apothem, and all you had to do was plug those values into the formula for the area of a regular polygon. And my drawings are not to scale on this, I know. We're just gonna have to deal with it, okay? So the formula was apothem, which is gonna be 2. Okay, so I put 2 in for my apothem, times side length, which is 4. So I put 4 in for my side length, times number of sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So this was number of sides. I plugged those values in. So you just multiply. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40, and then 40 divided by 2 gives you 20. I didn't put a measure or a unit, so 20 units squared. And that's how you did day 2. Okay, day 3, I didn't give you all of the information that you needed. This is where you had to start using Pythagorean theorem. In this example, I gave you a radius and a side length. And what I asked you to do here was come over and draw your right triangle. So I take this right triangle right here, okay, and I move it over here because I want it outside. I took it from here and I just moved it over here. This part was 4, so I put the 4 there. That means that my hypotenuse is 4. Now look at my side length here. My side length is 4. So that means this one is 4, this one is 4, this one is 4, and this one is 4, because we're assuming these are all regular polygons. If this side length is 4, what is this chunk right here gotta be? Remember we said that these were congruent? So if that totals 4, this part right here is 2. Okay, so then I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to transfer it here. And now we can use Pythagorean theorem to find this guy right here. And we need that value because that's our apothem and we need that for our formula. So these are your legs, they're your A and B, and then this is your hypotenuse, that's your C. So we're going to just say A squared plus B squared, or 2 squared, equals C squared, which is 4 squared. A squared plus 2 times 2 is 4 equals 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, we want to get that A squared by itself, so we're going to say A squared equals, we subtracted 4 from both sides, 16 minus 4 gives you 12. And then how do I get the value of A? You're right, we have to square root it. So you're going to do square root of 12, and you get 3.46. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth and make it 3.5. Okay. A equals 3.5. So we know this value now is 3.5. And then you would just plug the values into the formula for the area of a regular polygon, where you say area equals apothem, which is 3.5, times side length. My side length is 4, times number of sides, which is 5, all divided by 2. And when you work that out, it's going to give you the area of that polygon, but we had to use Pythagorean to find that. Now in this example down here, it gives you the apothem and it gives you the radius. So if I take that right triangle and I put it over here, I know that my apothem, or this side, is 2. I know that my hypotenuse, or this side, is 4. And I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to find the value of this side. And once I find that, I'm finding this value right here, okay? And I would multiply that answer by 2, and then I could plug all those values in to find the area of that regular polygon. You guys have already done this, okay? You've already done day 1, day 2, and day 3. We just went over the trig review. Okay, that's what we just covered in the previous video where you're having to solve for this side. Now we're moving on to new content, which is day 4. Okay, for day 4 problems, you're going to follow 3 steps. You're going to find your central angle. Okay, you did that in day 1. So you're going to take 360 divided by your number of sides. You're going to find your central angle. Once you find that value, you're going to divide that by 2, whatever answer you get. Some of you can do 2n. I don't want to mess you up with the formula. Essentially, it's the same thing. If you're not doing it that way, I don't care. It's fine. Just do 360 divided by your number of sides, and then divide that answer by 2. Okay? So you're finding your central angle. 360 divided by n finds your central angle, and then divide that answer by 2. And that's going to give you the measure of like this little guy right here. Okay? Step 2, you're going to use trig to find your missing side. That's why we covered trig yesterday. And then step 3, you're going to have all the values you need, because remember, we're looking for an apothem, we're looking for a side length, and we are looking for number of sides, which we can count. Those are the 3 things that we need. We'll have this one every time. These are the guys we're typically going to be looking for. All right, so let's try one. All right, here's some examples. And I've put steps 1, 2, 3 each time. So I know, like here, it's central angle. Here, I'm going to use trig, central angle trig, and then I'm just going to use the formula. Those are my 3 steps every time, okay? So central angle, in order to find the central angle, I have to take 360 and divide it by the number of sides, okay? So 360 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to give you 72 degrees, okay? So 72 degrees gives me this total angle here. That's my central angle. Remember, because your ends have to, both sides have to go through the vertices. So 72 degrees, but I want just this guy. So in order to get that, I have to take 72 and I have to divide that by 2 because there's 2 halves. And that gives me 36. So I know my central angle, I'm going to put here so you know you divide that answer by 2, equals 36 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to take that 36 because I know this now is 36. Okay, and I'm going to write my right triangle here. I like to just kind of separate this triangle. You don't have to. I know that this side value of that right triangle is 5. So I'm going to put 5 here. And we found this angle here to be 36. So I'm going to put that angle there is 36. Okay, what side do I want to solve for? Well, what do I need? I need an apothem, I need a side length, and I need a number of sides, right? I have my apothem. I know my number of sides. Do I have my side length? No, I don't. But if I find this value here, can I get my side length? Yes, I can. So I'm going to put a little X there. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put a little X. Okay? And guys, I know this is a lot of steps, so please, if you're confused or if you're struggling, contact me and I'm more than happy to help you out. Okay, it's kind of my job. All right, with trig, we had 5 steps. First step was label your sides based on your reference angle. this is my reference angle. So here's my opposite, here's my hypotenuse, here's my adjacent, okay? Step 2 was circle two sides with values, or two sides you're going to use. I'm going to use these two sides. Step 3, decide what trig function you're going to use. Okay, SOHCAHTOA. I'm going to use tangent. So I'm going to say tangent. Step 4 was set up your trig function. Tangent of 36 equals, if you remember, TOA was opposite over adjacent. So opposite has a value of x, adjacent has a value of 5. So I'm going to do x over 5. And then I'm going to cross multiply. And we get x equals tangent of 36 times 5. Okay, I'm going to type that into my calculator real quick. See if I can